Item analysis is quite important in assessment and evaluation process. Of course, numerous aspects of the items can be analyzed. However, in this video, we are going to talk about analyzing the difficulty index using p-value. The purposes of conducting item analysis are to identify structural or content defects in the items, to detect students' learning difficulties, to diagnose students' capability to answer the test questions, to identify the areas of weaknesses of the students, and to identify the areas of courses for their complexity and clarity. Meanwhile, the benefits of conducting item analysis are to get the high quality of the questions in a test, to improve the quality of the questions through revisions and removing ineffective questions, to evaluate the quality of the test questions, and to improve the effectivity of the test. In order to analyze the difficulty level of the items, p-value is used. The range of the p-value is between 0.0 to 1.0 with the following classifications. Items with a p-value above 0.85 are categorized as very easy items. Items with a p-value above 0.70 are categorized as easy items. For the items with a p-value ranged between 0.30 to 0.70, these items are categorized as moderate items. Items with a p-value less than 0.30 are categorized as difficult items, and when the p-value is below 0.20, the items are categorized as very difficult items. In order to get the p-value, the formula is p equals Ru plus Rl divided by t, where p is a p-value itself, Ru is a number in the upper group who answered the item correctly, Rl is the number in the lower group who answered the item correctly, and t is the number who tried the items, or in this case, the upper group plus the lower group. After obtaining the students' scores, we need to get the scores in a descending order to determine how many students should be in the upper group and how many of them should be in the lower group. So suppose we have 60 students have taken the test. Ru is 27% of those who get the highest scores. So 27% of 60 students will be equals 16 students with the highest scores. So in this case, we call this as the upper group. Rl is 27% of those who get the lowest score. So 27% of 60 students will be equals 16 students with the lowest scores. So in this case, we call this as the lower group. T, however, is 16 plus 16 will be equals 32 students who tried the items. The calculation of the p-value is shown in the following table. Suppose we have 60 students have taken the test and the number of questions is 9. For item number 1, there are 15 students in the upper group who answered the item correctly and 7 students in the lower group got the item correctly. So the calculation will be Ru plus Rl divided by T is equals 15 plus 7 divided by 32 will be equals 0.68. For item number 2, there are 10 students in the upper group got the item correctly and 4 students in the lower group got the item correctly. So 10 plus 4 divided by 32 will be equals 0.43. For item number 3, there are 7 students in the upper group answered the item correctly and 3 students in the lower group answered the item correctly. So 7 plus 3 divided by 32 will be equals 0.31. The calculation continues until the item number 9. In the item number 9, there's only one student in the upper group got the item correctly and none of the students in the lower group got the item correctly. So 1 plus 0 divided by 32 will be equals 0.03. With all the p-values in hand, here we come to the results of the calculation. The interpretation of the results of the calculation is shown in the following table. From 9 items, Item number 1 has the p-value of 0.68. Item number 2 has a p-value of 0.43. Item number 3 has the p-value of 0.31. So item number 1, 2, and 3 are categorized as moderate items. Item number 4 has a p-value of 0.93, so the item is categorized as very easy item. Item number 5 has the p-value of 0.40, so the item is categorized as moderate items. Item number 6 has the p-value of 0.25, so the item is categorized as difficult item. Item number 7, 8, and 9 have the p-value each of 0.12, 0.06, 0.03, so these items are categorized as very difficult items. The conclusion will be, item number 4 is categorized as very easy item, so we should consider not to use this item in the next test. Item number 1, 2, 3, and 5 are categorized as moderate items, so the items can be used in the next test. Item number 6 is categorized as difficult item. The item can be used in the next test but with proportional amount. Item number 7, 8, and 9 are categorized as very difficult items, so we should consider to revise the items in the next test. With the result in hand, we need to do some follow-up steps. For the items with the p-value above 0.85 and the items are categorized as a very easy item, we should consider not to use these items in the next test. Items with a p-value above 0.70 categorized as easy items, and the item can be used in the next test but with proportional amount. Items with a p-value between 0.70 to 0.30 categorized as moderate items, so we can use these items in the next test. Items with a p-value below 0.30 are categorized as difficult items, so we can use the items again in the next test, but again with a proportional amount. Items with a p-value less than 0.20 are categorized as very difficult items, so we need to consider to reuse these items in the next test, or we should revise the items for any confusing sentences or no right answers. So that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching.